like to take a moment to thank our valued sponsors. John Travis, a financial coach and certified Kingdom advisor with Richard Young Associates, a registered investment advisor. We'd also like to thank Sense of Satisfaction by Cricket. And a special thanks goes to Paul H. Bush, the Burning Bush. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this show may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors. And if you would like to sponsor, please reach out. We'd love to have you. It's time to hear the story, make the connection, learn the lesson, and gain the wisdom. Are you ready? Let's get charged and be changed. The Sister Speak Brother Break Show. Conversations on grace, healing, and deliverance. This is Marcy Bush. Come on, let's journey together.
Hey y'all. Thank you for joining us today for the Sister Speak Brother Break Show. It's already been a little situation in a matter of like 3 seconds. We're getting ready to start, and I'll tell you about it in a minute. We have a very special guest with us here today. This is one of my girls. This is my sister. This is somebody who I've known, I don't know how long I've known you. Her name is Regina Baugh. We'll start there. Regina, how long have you been
at least 15, 16 years.
Okay. So I've known Regina for 15 or 16 years, but not intimately. She and I have become close over the last 3.5 to 4 years, something like that, since 2018. Regina is a part of the Sister Speak ministry. And so when God highlighted her to me as one to come into the ministry, she was in the first retreat that we had. And our relationship grew from there. But what happened just a few seconds ago, we're going to go to what's probably one of the most current things, and then we'll go back. So we were sitting here, everybody, we're mic'd up, and kept hearing something, and I was like, I don't know if it's something I got, I don't know if it's, I'm like, I asked Jessica, you hear something ticking? She was like, yeah, Regina says, probably my case. Thinking again, what is that tinging? I keep forgetting.
I didn't think it was.
I don't recall ever hearing it before today.
Trying to make sure we All right, here we go.
What happened? What, you hear something ticking?
Yeah, there's one.
I heard it too, but I don't know what it is.
It might be my pacemaker.
Yeah, that's.
You can't hear it ticking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's just a point that we can. I never knew that. Wow, I never knew
if you're
that.
quiet enough, you can hear it ticking.
Okay.
It's fine though. Because once you start talking, then like.
And I'm like, oh, and we're like, don't worry about it. Everything, that's fine. That'll be a part of the story. And then I messed around and said, girl, because every time we hear that tick, and it was over. It was over. Yeah, and y'all will hear about what led up to that. But Regina was actually going to be the first interview I ever conducted, the first conversation I ever conducted, and it was between her and Shova. Bishop was the first one that aired, but I was recording earlier that day, or either that afternoon. It was between Regina and Shova, and I didn't know why, but I just felt the Holy Spirit like, do Nikki, which is Shova. Had no idea that it was because there were still testimonies being built. I know it was a long intro. This is a deep relationship. So y'all just get ready to be blessed by what you hear from Regina. So Regina, we finally made it.
Oh, my goodness.
We finally made it across from each other. So, I still, even though we're close and I know a lot, I still don't know your whole journey.
Okay.
So, we're going to start all the way at the beginning.
Okay.
So, talk to us about little Regina.
Wow. Little Regina. Little Regina was very inquisitive. I am an old soul, so I spent a lot of time up under my grandmother's dress tail.
Okay.
And I just remember, oh wow, my introduction to church and to the Lord was spending the night with grandmama and granddaddy and going to church Sunday morning. Now, I went to church with my mama and with my daddy, but you know, you want to be with your grandparents. So I spent a lot of time with them. Friday night, we would have hamburgers and French fries or hot dogs. And Saturday morning, she made pancakes and bacon. And Sunday, it was grits and sausage. And then off to church and then back home for fried chicken or roast beef and rice or whatever. So that was my introduction to the Lord and the beginning of my relationship with the Lord. And even as I think about that, when I became saved, or when I sat on the mourner's bench, it was from grandmama's house. And I just remember the old church and the foot tapping and the old songs. And well, that was part of me. The other part, I was, like I said, inquisitive, very playful. Loved playing outside, playing in the sand, playing. I have one sister. We had tea parties every year. I received a new tea set. Every year.
Really?
A tea set. I had a tomboy side, and then I have a prissy side. And so even now, I still love my teacups and saucers. And when you come to dinner one day, we're going to eat on the china. Because I like stuff like that. I played.
And just one little side note, your sister's name, what do you call her?
Rebecca. But I call her Beck.
And my sister is Rebecca.
That's right.
We call her
That's
Beck.
right. And so we have that in common. And so she and I, we were very creative and imaginative. So I was playful. In school, I was kind of, average was fine to me. But, I mean, we couldn't bring home bad grades because my daddy did not play. You didn't put your full self in it, but you knew you were going to make it through.
Right.
Nothing less than a C. Well, I was in big trouble. So anyway, we were playful. We went to church, very imaginative outside. We had a swing set. Oh my goodness, I love my swing set.
I used to love it.
Played in the sand.
I didn't do too much.
Played with my uncle. So what night you didn't like the sand? Oh my goodness, I made so many cakes and
really
sit down in the sand, cover up my feet like I'm at the beach. What else did I do?
You were saying something about your uncle.
Oh, I played with him and his friends, right? He's like 7 years older than I am. But the tomboy side of me played with the baseball. Even though I got hit in the mouth, ran into the fence, scratched up my eye. Every time I got hurt playing with him, he got
Lord.
But I love playing with him and his friends. Basketball, running and racing. Because my sister, she was not really athletic. She liked to watch TV. But
so
she wasn't
you had
really,
to find somebody to play with.
Right. So either my friends in the neighborhood or my uncle. Because his friends always came over. So that was I think that was the young Regina.
And when do you remember any changes coming about that kind of started shifting your personality or anything?
When I got married.
Okay. So before we jump to marriage, then let's see. When you
went to college in Augusta.
Okay.
First of all, I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to go in the military. And my family talked me out of going to the military. What do you want to go to the military for? Oh, it's too dangerous. Oh, you're going to get hurt. But my heart was to go into the military, into the Air Force.
Okay.
And my friend girl, she was going into the Navy. Okay. She went in the Navy, but me, listen to my family, I went to college.
And you know, so many times I even though you have told me you were not in the military, there's so many times I'd be like,
people
Gina,
think I was
always
in the military.
think, yes.
Yep.
I always have to remind myself that you were not
in the military, because you remember Fee thought I was in the military, and I meant to correct it, and I never did get a chance.
Okay.
But anyway, that was my heart. I wanted to go into the military. I wanted to be one of the military police officers.
Okay.
One of the, an officer. So anyway, I had my heart set. I had done my little research and everything, but I ended up changing and going to Augusta College. My heart was not into college. Okay. Because I just didn't want to do that. I was just a hands-on and sitting in the classroom, listening to a lecture and all that kind of, oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many times I took English 101. I think I had to take it 3 times. Really? I had to take anatomy and physiology at least twice. Okay. And something else I had to read, because I just was not.
Your mind wasn't.
It was not. And so when I went to Augusta College, that's when my personality kind of shifted. Okay. I think the real me started coming out. Okay. I'm more of a social person than I thought I was. Anyway. So
well, I'm so glad you made it out, girl.
Finally.
Right. So did you, and you say you stopped at some point and went back?
Well, they sent that letter that says you are now on academic probation. So you have to wait a period of time.
Girl, God was with me.
Pray. I mean, not pray, but pray, yes. But I had to apply. Okay. And write this little plan and get back in so I could finish, because I had so much time behind me. And so, of course, my mom and dad said, okay, you're on your own now, because you've been up there partying and playing. I was working at UPS, so I was making some good money. I mean, good money. It bought my little car, had a little sports car, a two-door sports car with the Bose speakers in the ear. And man, I tell you, I was living, having a good time.
So did you have to convince yourself to go back to school after having your own money?
Well, yes, I did, and it was very difficult. And so I went back with the intention of finishing. And before I finished, I decided to get married. Okay. Got married, which was a big mistake because it was a rebound marriage. Okay. I was in a previous relationship and it had gone south. And so I met this other dude, and he wasn't even from here. Okay. He was living in California, so we had a long distance relationship. Okay. And I married him. That's when things shifted. Okay. My vision shifted.
Now, was your health and everything still intact before?
Actually, right before I married him, we discovered I had lupus. Okay. Okay, so I was still working at UPS and going to school, and I had met this other guy. I was supposed to meet him the morning that I ended up having to go in the hospital because I had discovered dark urine. My urine looked like a dark beer. Okay. And so I called my doctor, my primary doctor, and he called me in, must have suspected what the issue was, and ran some tests. And contacted a specialist. Called me on a Saturday, or either a Friday night, when doctors don't normally call. Right. And then that's when I discovered.
Had you had any other indicators?
Because I was working out, doing bodybuilding, going strong, getting ready to start preparing for a competition.
Okay.
Because that's how much I was into it. I mean, I was not Nautilus, but I was lifting the free weights.
Okay.
And real buff.
Okay.
And matter of fact, they started teasing me. I had some nicknames, She-Ra. I don't know if you remember She-Ra from the cartoons. And what else did they call me? Mrs. T. That's what my sister called me. Big.
Okay.
Because I had all these gold necklaces that I wore.
Gotcha.
And so anyway, I was doing all of that.
And then lupus showed up.
Felt good, and here comes lupus.
Okay.
And my life changed, like it turned upside down.
Okay.
My appearance changed.
Was it because of the medication?
The medication.
Okay.
And the lupus.
Okay.
Because with lupus, it attacks different parts of the body. It attacked my kidneys.
Okay.
So I had the butterfly rash that showed up on my face.
Okay.
They call it the sign of the wolf. That's what lupus means, wolf.
Really? Okay.
And when you get sick like that, they have to give you these really big doses of prednisone.
Okay.
To slow down,
Okay.
you know, the
and
swelling.
That's a steroid, correct? Okay.
So as a result of that, I developed this moon face. And, I was still cute now, but I just looked different.
Okay. I got you. I got you. So did you have to stop with bodybuilding, with weightlifting?
I did, because I was just too weak to do anything.
Gotcha.
And by the time I went through the process, I was so little, you couldn't even see a muscle.
So even though it had your face or whatever swollen, you were losing weight?
I lost weight. I couldn't eat. I was just, I was just little.
Okay.
I mean, everything, no energy, no strength. It was really something. And I guess what made it even worse, the specialist put me in the hospital to do a biopsy. So with the biopsy, they have to go in with those really big needles, and he hit a blood vessel, evidently. So even though I felt fine, and I wanted it, first thing when they finished, I wanted to eat. But over time, I had started bleeding. And so I ended up in a coma and in ICU.
Really?
So
and how
that's
were you
what
then,
made me so sick.
Regina, how were you?
I must have been about 21, 22.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I was real young.
Okay.
It was 1990 that I was diagnosed with lupus.
And how long were you in a coma? Did they induce the coma so that your body could?
I just went under. I passed out before they even got me out of my regular room. I remember my mother, she could tell it from a totally different standpoint.
Right.
She had left me at university and had gone back to MCG to work. And told them, any problems, y'all make sure you call me. So anyway, I think after I ate, I must have called for the nurse or something, because I felt myself getting ready to pass out. And they called my mom, I remember. But evidently, I must not have been too far gone, because I remember slapping my face. Gina. She was tearing my face up. But I went under, and I think I was maybe in ICU for about a week. Didn't know who I was, where I was. I just remember different ones. They had called all my family. They were coming in, and one of my real close friends, they were coming in looking at me one by one, and it was kind of bad. Yeah. Mama said that she had a dream that she saw this light. She walked over to the light, and there was this grave that had yellow chrysanthemums on it, and said and it was breathing, and I think she said it when either I can't remember if it was the exhale or the inhale. It said Jesus loves you or Jesus saves or something. She said, and that was me. And I guess the Lord letting her know I would be at death's door, but I wouldn't die.
Jesus, thank you, God.
Yeah.
So you said your mom knew, the Lord gave her a sign that although you would be at death's door, you would be okay.
Yes.
So how long did you stay? Do you remember how long you stayed in the hospital at that time?
I think at least a week, Marcy. I remember it was a while before I woke up, and I was full of fluid. Thank God they didn't show me a mirror. Just based on what they described.
Okay.
I think it was about a week.
Okay.
And then I went to a room.
Okay, so you were in ICU for a week.
Yes.
And then you went to a room.
Yes, I believe that's the way it went.
And so was it after that you then got married?
Yes, because we were already engaged.
Okay.
And
now, how did your parents feel about your long distance engagement?
Well, they didn't like it.
Okay. Okay.
And as a matter of fact, I said something to my daddy at some point. And I said, well, Daddy, I think we had separated.
Okay.
And well, Daddy, we'll take care of it on the phone or something. That's what's wrong with y'all now. You got married on the phone.
Okay.
So they did not like that.
Okay.
And well, they didn't like it. Number one, they didn't know him well enough. Number two, it was a long distance relationship. Number three, I had just had a crisis. And I really wasn't stable enough to be moving long distance.
Oh, you were moving?
Yes, because I left here and went to California to live in Los Angeles. Just trying to get to the to the city of lights. So
wow.
It was a major strain. And my daddy kept saying, Gina, don't do it. Gina, give it some time. Gina, let me meet him. Gina, let me meet him, because he came here and my daddy was working, so he didn't get a chance to meet him. And he just told me a few weeks ago, I said, Gina, I'll come and meet him at the airport. And you just laughed. Now you gonna meet him at the airport? He said, you thought that was so funny. But I would have known. And he said, and after I met him, that wasn't the one for you.
Right.
But you just insisted.
So how long were you in California?
About a year.
Okay.
And I came on back.
Okay. Now, did you get pregnant in California?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. I got pregnant in California.
So tell us about that.
I got pregnant in California. He and I separated and came back here.
Okay.
Had the baby here and then moved back to California. Let him talk.
Really?
I let him talk me into going.
Okay.
Going back, he was going to do better. We were going to have a better relationship and all of that. So I did. I went back.
And so
of course,
you had
I had a son, Andre.
Yes.
Clifford Andre Baugh.
Okay.
He had his daddy's first name and my first name. My name is Andrea, so I named him Andre.
Okay.
So I had him in about, let me see how old Andre was. I had just had Andre 3 months old.
Okay.
And
you were in California at this
at the time. Had just moved back to California.
Okay.
And he became a victim of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
Okay.
First time I had heard of it, but I didn't know anything about it. So after that happened.
So hold on. What happened?
What happened?
Yes.
Well, just went to bed one night and woke up the next morning. It was a Saturday night. I'll never forget it, because it was Sunday morning. Got up early, get ready to go to church. So that's one thing I always did. One thing grandmama and granddaddy instilled. Go to church.
Okay.
So I never stopped going to church, and church turned out to be my saving grace.
Okay.
when I was in LA.
Okay.
And I say that because they say the Lord looks out for babies and fools. I wasn't a baby, so I evidently I was a fool.
Okay.
One thing I do credit my husband for was introducing me to a church.
Okay.
First church I've ever been to where it didn't matter if you were a member or not. The pastor embraced us. I was in a church of maybe about 10,000 people. The first African Methodist Episcopal Church.
Okay.
Fame is what they call it.
Okay.
I walked into Fame. I never seen or experienced anything like that before. And all those people in that church and that man gave me attention when I called after my son, the SIDS incident had occurred. And it showed me a different side of God.
Okay. Okay.
So anyway, I discovered him that Sunday morning, and
Thanks so much for joining us today. If you've been blessed by today's show, feel free to let us know. And if you'd like to sow into this ministry, become a sponsor, or contact us, you can reach us at 803-221-0169. Or you can email us at the ssbbshow@gmail.com. Let's continue this journey together. Missed any of our past episodes?
The pain that I've gone through, I've been through lots. Depression, perversion, low self-esteem, rejection. But I'm here, and I'm loving life, and I'm changed forever. I'm trying to maim you, to leave you, like physically and mentally, maim you. He wanted your life.
I don't think he so much wanted my life is that he wanted some results. He wanted me to stay in the earth and not be who I am now.
piece where you start talking about it was your love walk.
Yes.
We had an opportunity to not only share our experience, but find out that there were so many women in the room who had similar experiences.
Advice would you give to people who find themselves in the grips of grief right now?
The pain is inevitable, but the suffering is optional.
You were still sick, you still weren't well, but did something change for you when they gave it a name?
Yes, because once they put a label on it, I felt like it was putting a label on me.
Catch up on past shows on my YouTube channel at Marcy Bush, MarceyBush. And be sure to subscribe so you won't miss any future episodes.